This is an official announcement from the Podcast Tonight Awards. Your favourite show that you're listening to right now has been officially nominated for a Podcast Tonight Award. But the power is in your hands. Amongst other categories, this show is in the running for the prestigious Listener's Choice Award, and they need your vote to win. You can show your support and help them get the recognition they deserve. The link to vote is in their show notes and bio. Go now and make your voice heard. This has been a message from Podcast Tonight, celebrating the best in audio.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch affairs.
It's probably the least sexy part of the work. It's okay. No. The truth is,
We did a roundtable discussion not too long ago. It was me, Greg, Katie Ramirez, right?
I think it was Katie.
And my sister Robin.
Because we were talking about nonprofits.
Right.
And I brought up the Junto.
Oh, no. No, it wasn't that one. It was about the podcast we did about, oh, crap.
Mastermind?
Thank you. Yes, that
Yeah.
was it. That was it.
Yeah.
Shh, man, my mind's not. Who is one or the other? Who knows? Ben Franklin probably did a lot. But Greg blew my mind because he told me how he was like a history buff when it came to the forefathers. So, of course, my hamster inside my head started running on that wheel. It's like, well, 2026, America's 250 years old. Mm-hmm. So we need to do episodes about the forefathers and American history in general. So, but I didn't want to do roundtable. I wanted just you and I because I know, like when I read your book, I learned a lot. Just talking to you, I know I can learn a lot. So it's like, oh, okay, we got to do this. So I want to learn more.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to do it. And I figure what better way to celebrate the 250th birthday. Actually, is it actually
Anniversary?
Anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really birthday, is it?
I mean, sometimes we call it America's birthday.
Yeah.
It's when we were born.
Is it? Well, yeah, I guess you could say that because we weren't discovered. But yeah, you're right. It's when we found our independence.
Yeah, the Declaration of Independence.
It's hard to believe that the bicentennial was 50 years.
Yeah, I know.
God, seems like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was a kid. I was 5.
So was I, but
I was 5. 6.
How old was I? Wait a minute. God, now you made me. I was a teenager because I graduated 81, or I suppose I graduated 81. So I was a teenager. But
Yeah.
I remember like it was it just seems like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So I think probably when it comes to forefathers, I want to cover the one that I think everybody's most familiar with. I love him. I think he's your favorite, and that's Ben Franklin.
He is. Yeah.
All right, let's start there. Why is Ben Franklin your favorite?
For many reasons. He did so many different things, and you could argue that each of the things that he's known for, each of them in and of themselves could have been enough to make him like a famous, admired person.
Right.
He was an entrepreneur. He was a printer and ran the printing press in Philadelphia.
I forgot all about that.
And I learned in one of the books I read that he franchised. He had other print shops up and down the colonies.
Really?
And he got a piece of the action, and so it was like the first American franchise.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll get it. So printer, inventor,
Well, a lot of people think
politician.
a lot of people think he discovered electricity, but he didn't, right?
Well, that's one of the things he's known for,
right?
That's we can get into like all the inventions that he did. He discovered a way to tap electricity.
Okay, like Dr. Frankenstein did.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah,
we're recording this in October. It just came to my head.
There you go. That's one of my favorite movies.
The original Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh, Young Frankenstein. Oh, my God. Oh, no,
I usually put that on during Halloween time.
Yeah, rolling in the hay. Oh God.
Anyway,
that's a whole. Yeah. All right, so, we're going to start. We're going to end up talking about Mel Brooks the whole time now.
What hump? Wasn't your hump on the what hump?
All right, so real quick, do you know who actually wrote that?
Didn't Mel Brooks?
No. Gene Wilder actually wrote it, and then Mel Brooks helped him with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was the first one that Gene Wilder had written.
Okay.
Which that's a whole other podcast alone, because he was very original, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah. He was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of improv.
Yeah.
A lot of improv. Anyways, okay, so back to Ben.
So, yeah, just the fact that he did so many different things and could be known for each of those things in and of themselves. But he was like, the first American, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
almost like America's, we say forefathers, but a lot of people would say that George Washington is the father of America. But I don't know. You could argue that and say Ben Franklin was.
Well, the other thing that is, I guess, when you think about many of the founding fathers we'll be talking about, many of them wound up becoming president. And Ben Franklin was never president.
I keep saying forefathers. That's wrong.
Why?
Right? Is it wrong? No. Founding fathers, forefathers. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, did he ever run? Did Ben ever run for president?
No.
Why?
Because he was too old by that point. He was older. Like when they invited him back to participate in the Constitutional Convention in, when was that? 1787, when we drafted the Constitution. Yep. He was like maybe in his 80s. He was like, towards the end of his life. And people joke about, there's people have said that he would like fall asleep during the meetings, and but when he spoke, everybody paid attention to him. He just highly regarded, and
But he was a politician, though, right? Wasn't he?
I'm trying to think if he ever held elected office. I don't think
he did. Run for office?
No,
nothing.
No.
Interesting.
Think about it. At the beginning there, they weren't running. They would put their names in, but there were no real campaigns. When we get to George Washington, we'll talk about how, he was the unanimous decision. He unanimously won that election, the electoral college votes. And John Adams came in second place in the voting, and that made him vice president. This was before, a ticket, two guys, people running on a ticket.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did Ben get involved with the Declaration of Independence then?
Well, as when we talked about the junto, he was becoming well known in the community, and I know that he had gone. He was asked to go to England to try to negotiate like some things for the colonies, and he tried. He at some for many years still wanted us to be a part of England, and he was like lobbying on our behalf for. I think he was over there for maybe for years.
Wow.
And he finally got to the point where he realized they're not gonna, they're gonna keep taxing us without representation, and he finally said, I think we're done here. And so he came back, and literally when he got back to America, back to Philadelphia, pretty much walked into the convention where they were drafting the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And he was even though Thomas Jefferson was the main author of the Declaration, it was a committee of I think 5 people.
Okay.
And Ben was one of the ones on the committee. I know.
While he was away?
No. When he came back.
Oh, when he came back.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. And they started drafting it, I think, in June. I mean, it took a while. Think about it. Sometimes it took a long time for, especially like from New England and especially like the South, to get everybody into Philadelphia.
Well, that's true.
You
Yeah.
know.
You didn't have Amtrak yet or airplanes.
No. So, I know Thomas Jefferson was like the chair of the committee and the main. He was picked to be the main author, but I know Ben Franklin and John Adams and maybe one or two others were on the committee that drafted the document.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, any idea what his childhood was like?
Yeah, he was born in Boston, and originally his father thought he was like the youngest of like maybe 13 kids.
Good Lord.
And they thought he was going to be a minister, but then he started working for his older brother. His older brother was a printer. Okay. And he was working as an apprentice for his brother in Boston. And that's where you get he wanted to write, and his brother wouldn't let him put stuff in the paper. So he used he created a pen name.
Okay.
This a widowed woman named Silence Dogood. Okay. And Silence Dogood would write letters and put it under the door. And the older brother said, "Wow, this is great. I'm putting this in the paper." And
oh my God.
And then he eventually found out that it was young Ben writing this stuff and got upset. And so
that's funny, but it's brilliant at the same time.
So eventually he ran away.
What?
I think he was like 16 because he wanted to do his own thing. And his father was, "No, you're going to be an apprentice to your brother." And so he ran away. I think he stopped in New York along the way, but then showed up in Philadelphia. So that's when he had gotten experience as a printer, and he set up shop, and that's how he initially became known in town, because he was the best printer in town.
Wow. And I guess he was printing the paper.
Yeah, he was printing a newspaper.
And there probably weren't that many papers around.
Well, the other thing that he did was he created an almanac called Poor Richard's Almanac.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Okay. So everybody knew it was him, but, he used that pseudonym or that name and would put out, and that, you think about the Farmer's Almanac. There were all dozens and dozens of almanacs that were out at the time. And so he put out Poor Richard's Almanac. So a lot of the quotes that we think about and we attribute to Ben Franklin originally were in the almanacs. Like,
I'll be damned.
So when you see a list of Ben Franklin quotes, a lot of them were they happened to be, he put them in the almanac.
I completely forgot that he did that. I love the fact that to get into the paper, used that a fake name, pen name or whatever. I mean, but
especially a widowed woman. He was like 15, 16 years old. And,
that's all?
Yeah. And he was writing this stuff, and people were reading it and were admiring his, the woman's work or writing. And
actually, did he write any books?
He wrote his autobiography. And it was like, I don't want to say towards the end of his life. He still hadn't. It was possibly before the Constitutional Convention, but he was a great self-promoter.
Right.
Like when you hear stories about Ben Franklin, a lot of them were written by him in his autobiography.
Huh.
So that's another thing. You say, why do I like Ben Franklin? He just has this eclectic story.
Yeah. I mean, you think, at that young age, the stuff he was doing, And the mind, just a brilliant mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So he did the printing and made decent money and retired from printing at age 40.
what?
I think it was 40. And that's because he wanted to start doing inventions.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then so now he becomes a scientist and an inventor. And one of the coolest things that I saw, picture like a xylophone,
yeah.
or a harmonica that has like the different notes that he created a musical instrument called the glass harmonica. So think about when you rub
Oh,
a
yeah.
glass and you can make a little sound.
Yep.
Okay. He figured out, again, part of his science mind, the more water you put in the glass, it'll make a different tone.
Yeah.
So if you set up 12 glasses, you can change the pitch, based on water in the glass. The other thing
I didn't realize that was him.
And the other thing is the size of the glass. So
Yeah.
he took 12 bowls, different sized bowls, turned them on their side, and put a rod through all of them so they're lined up next to each other, and then it was like a spindle, like you think of like a rotisserie.
Okay.
And he connected it. Old sewing machines. There was a
foot
pedal
pedal,
on the
right.
bottom that made it go.
Yeah.
So he had the foot pedal turning the spindle. So he would wet his fingers and he would make songs with the different tones from the 12 or 15 or however, and he created an instrument making sound with the different shaped bowls and just
That's pretty wild.
touching it with water. Yeah. I know this because my family always loved going to Williamsburg. And
Right.
so like every few years we would go down, and even though we had seen everything, we just
Still fun
loved
to
it.
go down, yeah.
And one of the things they had they had like a live presentation of this guy playing a glass harmonica.
I never even heard of that. That's pretty
Yeah.
wild, though.
Yeah.
At first, when you started talking about the bowls, I thought you were going to tell me he invented what's it called? The music box.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, what? No way. Then again, he may have. Who knows?
Yeah.
It could have came from that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, they may have been way before then.
Yeah.
What else did he invent
Oh gosh.
that people would
The
know about?
bifocals. He invented bifocal glasses.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I forgot all about that. Wow.
Yeah.
And look, everybody's wearing them today still.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so at this point this is when he's starting to, have the junto and wanting to be philanthropic and coming up with ideas for the betterment of society.
Right.
They started the first public lending library. They started the volunteer fire company.
Huh?
So all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah.
He started all
So
that?
again, he's
Or
getting
was he part of it. Part of it.
He was part of it. He was part of it. Yeah.
Damn. I didn't realize. Well, yeah, I guess it would make sense that the firefighters would be volunteer back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So
Now, during the war, did he take part in that at all?
well, he didn't fight. He was older. But
Right, yeah.
when the fighting started, I think he was over in England already at the Battle of Lexington and Concord, April 19th, 1775. Okay. So I think he was still over there, still lobbying for
Okay.
to settle things down. So,
Wow.
But then, like I said, he came back and just dove right into figuring out how we wanted to build. The biggest thing with the founding fathers, and the colonies were still they still viewed each other as separate entities. You know,
Right.
there was no national patriotism.
United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing Georgia cared about was Georgia. The only thing Maryland cared about was Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that New York cared about was New York. And so a lot of, you know, the discussions that happened were about building consensus. And we got here's a Ben Franklin quote that probably happened when they were signing the Declaration of Independence. He said, "We must all hang together, otherwise we'll all hang separately."
Ooh. Ooh.
So
People need to remember that today.
amen, brother.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
That, wow. All right, so what's one of the biggest, I guess, misconceptions that people have about Ben? Look, we keep saying Ben like we know him firsthand. I mean,
Benny.
Yeah, Benny.
Maybe the fact that a misconception that he was an angel. He was no angel.
Okay.
He was he flirted. He
was a ladies' man.
He was married, and Donna Reed, I think her name was.
The actress?
No.
I was going to say, she
I think-
definitely wasn't born yet.
God, I'm messing up my names. I think her maiden name was Reed.
Okay.
And what and part of one of the things that the story he tells in his autobiography is that when he got off the boat, at 16 years old, and basically had enough money to buy a loaf of bread and stuck it under his arm and was walking around, he claims that the young lady who would become his wife saw him walking down the street and he looked like dirty and disheveled.
Right.
He's been
Been gone all
running
years.
away from
Yeah.
home. So that's one of the stories that he tells in his autobiography that, then they met years later. And I think they called it a common law marriage.
Common law marriage,
They
yeah.
they didn't have a ceremony, but I guess they just lived together long enough
Yeah.
that it was called
So, all right,
common
we're
law.
hitched.
Yeah. But yeah, when later on, so I talk about how he went to England to try to lobby on our behalf. Then during the war, I guess the Continental Congress
Mm-hmm.
sent him to France to lobby for France's support. And that eventually happened, obviously.
Right.
They came and probably we wouldn't have won the war without France's help. He befriended a married woman over there, and they were seen together a lot.
So that man may have kids everywhere.
Maybe.
Then again, a lot of them back then may have had kids everywhere.
So, he was definitely he was beloved in France.
Right.
And talk about a showman. I can't remember. I don't know if this is in the book or not, but part of his pitch to France was helping the rustic people of America. He wore a coon. What is it? Raccoon.
The coon hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Daniel Boone.
He would wear that in France just to build up this brand of the rustic Americans, He never wore one in his life over here, but
He probably didn't like the beret. What do they call it? Beret?
beret?
Yeah, I think it's a beret. Wow. All right, you've mentioned a couple times Junto.
Yes.
So those that are listening that don't know, explain what Junto is.
Junto. So this came up when we were talking about the mastermind.
Right.
So he created this group in Philadelphia, and I don't know if it was I think every Friday, 5 or 6 guys would get businessmen from different industries would get together and just brainstorm ideas on how to improve society. And they and so that's when, they would they did the library, did the firehouse. I think they created there's a national nonprofit organization called the National National Philanthropy Association.
Okay.
And I think that he founded that organization.
Really?
Back then, yeah. I think they started the post office. He was postmaster general for the colonies.
I forgot about that too.
Yeah, and he leveraged his printing business along with that. So he was like, talk about an entrepreneur juggling.
All right. So, what can people today learn from Ben Franklin that would help help improve their business or life in general?
Well, I would say he is a role model for never stopping.
Even to today, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just because you retire at 40 from your printing business doesn't mean you're just going to kick your legs up and relax.
Right.
Just because you stop inventing science, machines doesn't mean you can't, get into public life and, help in other ways. He was literally working and changing lives and helping to create a country until the day he died.
How
So
old was
I
he when he
think
passed?
he was 90. I mean, which
Wow.
was crazy old.
For back then, yeah.
I mean, it's old now too, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Don't roll your eyes at me.
Well, who was it? I just heard on the radio the other day. So the oldest man, I think, just passed away recently. He was 116.
Wow.
So now, I think the oldest man in the world just celebrated his 113th birthday.
Wow.
I mean, I have a goal. You and I are going to be sitting here doing this still when I turn 100.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you may not understand what the hell I'm saying, but we're still going to be doing it.
Yeah.
But,
So yeah, he's a role model for never stopping.
yeah.
You can always be doing something more, something else to improve the lives of people around you.
That's a shirt we have to get made.
Okay.
Never stop and just have Ben Franklin's face on it.
Yeah.
Or silhouette. I guess you could put his face on there.
Sure.
I don't think it's copyrighted.
You would no, at this point. No.
Sorry. So before we get into George, is there anything you want to add about Ben?
Let me think. No, I think
I
we've
love
covered
this
a lot
hairstyle. It looks like mine.
No, he's my favorite. So
One of the things, those of you listening, it may not be a bad idea for you either. Look up some of the old movies or find the books and read about, Ben Franklin, George Washington, all the founding fathers.
yeah.
Because you'd be amazed.
And we don't have John Adams on our list yet. I'm sure we will get to him. But the HBO miniseries on John Adams that is based on the McCullough book.
Okay.
Is a great series that touches on all the a lot of the founding fathers.
What was the one movie they did? It was more of a musical. I think it was 1776.
Oh, okay.
But I think it was more of a musical, and
Yeah.
it's like, no. Because the whole time I'm trying to watch, it's like, I don't think they were really singing back then.
Well, they sang in pubs.
Well, all right. So those of you listening, just to let you know, so Greg and I are sitting here. We have our bourbon. We're just sipping on bourbon because, and Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, our forefathers used to just sit around drinking ale.
Yeah.
Mainly.
Rum, ale, mead.
Yeah. So it's like, we're old enough, we can do it. All right, I'm old enough, we can do it. So you have to.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how much they got done. Well, because here
They were all. They were
I
getting a
know
lot done when you're drunk.
I know that we're transitioning to George Washington, but one other thing that I'll say about Ben Franklin is when he was starting his printing business, can't remember if he was trying to buy equipment from somebody or but he went to England to I think to buy equipment, but somebody screwed him over, and so he actually worked as a printer in London for a while.
Wow.
And he and all of his coworkers drank all day, and he figured out that and to be fair, the water was not drinkable. It just had disease, and especially in London. I mean, just imagine like the city of London and just like the filth and the disease. But what did Ben Franklin do? He boiled water and drank clean water while everybody else was drinking beer, and he was the most productive guy in the print shop, running circles around everybody else.
Wow. Wow. Probably before anybody that's just mind blowing right there.
Yeah. The fact that he figured it out and did it. Yeah.
And people probably looking at him like, what the hell is he cooking
why
up
is
over
he
there now?
moving so fast?
Yeah. What's he cooking up? Is he making us more ale? Yeah, so he can run circles around you guys. Yeah. The man, the father of our country, George Washington.
Good old George.
I mean, God, I don't even know where to start with him. And I think a lot of people hear the stories about George Washington because he was the first president. The cherry tree.
Yep.
He followed his brother, right?
I think so.
And because it was his brother that went into the military first?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
But
I may be getting him mixed up with somebody else.
Yeah. But George is interesting because he was 6 feet tall. And we talk about how
that was tall back
90
then.
Was old back then. 6 foot tall was tall.
Yeah.
And he gained a lot of stature, just by being tall.
Mm-hmm.
So he came to the Continental Convention when they drafted the Declaration, and he didn't say much, but he had served as a soldier for the British,
right?
When was it the Spanish Indian War? What was the war? Was it the Spanish Indian War? When it was, we were colonists and serving.
I think it was
for the British in wars in the 1750s.
Yeah,
I think it was Spanish and Indian War, and so he showed up at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia wearing his old uniform,
the Reds.
Where it may not have been red. It may because that wasn't always the. Sometimes they were blue,
right?
But he showed up wearing his uniform, and he didn't say hardly anything, but that was his way of lobbying to be the general of our army.
Oh,
because we hadn't started the army yet, so this was probably 1775 when the first time they met. They decided to build an army, and they needed a general. And so 6 foot in the uniform, Washington gets picked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and he was all right. So his childhood, besides the cherry tree, where was he born?
Virginia. And his career, he was, like many of our founding fathers, came from wealth.
Right.
And so, a lot of men who were, Virginians that were sent to Williamsburg, for the, Virginia House of, delegates or whatever they called them. They were selected because you owned land.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not unlike the British House of Lords.
Yeah.
You were appointed because you owned that county, or,
right,
or whatever.
So we adopted a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, for up until a certain point.
Right.
Yeah.
Not now.
Yeah. But where are we going with this?
Growing up.
Oh yeah, he was a surveyor. He was a surveyor.
That's what it was.
He was a surveyor.
Yes.
So later on, fast forward to we're a country. Our nation's capital started in New York. It was in Philadelphia for a while. But then when we decided to take part of Maryland and part of Virginia and create the District of Columbia, he surveyed it. Even at that older stage of his life, he's the one that mapped out and surveyed.
I was going to say, because he was responsible for doing a lot of the early maps.
Yeah, he mapped it out.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. Because it was the movie I saw about that. Because he was just traveling everywhere doing all these surveys. Yeah. And I think it was his older brother was serving in the military at the time.
Oh, okay.
And George always wanted to.
Gotcha.
If I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
God, I cannot remember. It may have been one of those movies or documentaries either on History or Fox Nation, one of them.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, the History Channel for years had all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah.
I have to go back and start watching that again.
Yeah.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. Ever been caught off guard by a sudden heat wave or cold front? We've all been there. That's why I'm excited about our sponsor for this episode, EcoCool HVAC. Veteran-owned and rooted in Harford County, EcoCool HVAC is your go-to solution for all things heating and cooling. Whether you're battling summer's heat or winter's chill, they've got you covered with their top-notch heating and air conditioning services, and even pool heating solutions. Stephen Crodell and his qualified team ensure rapid response and meticulous attention to detail. It's not just about providing a service. It's about caring for the community. Their motto, when you call, they care, and they're there. If you need professional, reliable HVAC assistance, dial EcoCool HVAC at 443-324-9714. Again, that's 443-324-9714, or visit ecocoolhvac.com. Again, that's ecocoolhvac.com. Here's to comfort all year round, thanks to EcoCool HVAC. All right. Why did he chop down the damn cherry tree?
Who knows if that's even a true story?
Probably not.
But it became American folklore, and it just centered and it was telling the story about how he was honest. I cannot tell a lie. It was me that chopped down that cherry tree, So it became a part of the American story. We painted this picture of our the father of our country. If it's true or not, who cares? It's a nice,
I think somebody else
image symbolism, So
wow.
But the thing that I admire the most about George Washington was, and it first happened in Annapolis. Okay, so we win the war.
Right.
We win the war, and I told you how the Constitution, not the Constitution, the
Declaration,
the delegates, would meet in different cities.
Right.
So for about 11 months, let's see, we won in 1781, but there was still like a couple years, So I think it was December 23rd, 1780. 83, or was it that year? Anyway, they were convened in Annapolis, Maryland, in our state house. And that's where he came to voluntarily step down from his position as general of the Army. Okay. And up until this point in world history, if you were a conquering war general,
right,
you appointed yourself king. You for the most part.
Yeah.
So this was the first time he voluntarily stepped down from a position of power.
Wow.
And so think about the significance of that. And everybody in the room understood the significance of this. Some men were crying, just thinking about how significant this act of giving the power back to the people. The general isn't going to maintain the power. I'm stepping down and giving the power back to the representatives because
that's strong.
Yeah.
Damn.
And so when we talk about how he voluntarily didn't run for president after 2 terms, that wasn't the first time he stepped down.
Oh.
He did it 10 years beforehand in Annapolis.
Well, okay, wait a minute. So he served for 2 terms. So after the first term, he stepped down, but it was reelected?
No,
or
he
picked again?
He allowed himself to be on the ballot the second time. But after that, he chose not to be on the ballot.
Okay.
And that's when John Adams won.
Who was his vice president?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But he still had to run for election.
Right.
Yeah, but George wasn't on the ballot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, no, because there were president. That's not when the 2-term thing started, though, right?
No, the 2-term limit didn't happen until FDR won his 4th. Think about it. He was
Jesus. I didn't realize that.
FDR he first won in 32, so 32, 36, 40, and 44. He won 4 times. Now, when he won in 44, then he died in 45, and Harry Truman, vice president, came up. So he only served for 13 years.
Yeah.
13 years.
Jesus.
Right? So after that, that's when they added into, I don't know which amendment it was.
But the 2-term limit.
2-term limit, yeah.
They just forgot to add for everybody.
But think about it. This is the other thing about George Washington. Sure. Being the first president of our country, he set all the precedents. So the fact that he voluntarily stepped down after 2 terms, no other president ran for a 3rd term.
Interesting.
Even though it wasn't a requirement.
Just think it was out of respect?
I guess. Or just precedent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, a lot of them only served for 1 term and then lost in their reelection.
Right.
But up until FDR, no one had served more than 2 terms.
So when he stepped down the second time, how old was he, and what did he do afterwards?
He went back to his farm at Mount Vernon, and lived for a couple more years and died.
And how old was he when he died?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
but probably 80s, maybe early 80s.
So did he actually work the farm?
He owned the
farm.
He
owned the farm. That's right. I'm sorry. Back then, they didn't really work the farm.
The slaves worked for the farm. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. Jeez. Okay. But now, when he came to the Declaration of Independence, but he was
already serving as general. So when the Declaration of Independence was signed, we were already fighting. So he may have been up in New York or somewhere fighting, or Boston. Yeah.
Huh.
That was the first time we ever had to deal with someone lobbying for more money for the military.
Really?
Yeah, because the delegation didn't have much money, and General Washington was always lobbying them for more money. My soldiers don't have shoes.
Right.
Help me out here, guys.
God, and we're still fighting to get more money at times.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? You go up to the Civil War. I mean,
Yeah.
you had people using their own weapons.
Yeah.
What the hell? I mean, that's. Then again, sometimes some of their own weapons may be better what you get from the military. Anyways, I'm just saying. Jesus. All right. So with George, same thing with Ben. What could people learn from George Washington, whether it be for business or life in general?
Yeah. Think about how he presided over the first cabinet as president.
Yeah.
In his cabinet was John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton. Think about all these.
Jesus. Wow.
Talk about like high-powered type A, up until this point, it's all about you listen to me.
Right.
A
lot of strong alpha males.
Exactly. So the fact that he was able to convene these alpha males and start to create a government, like he
and technically a country, the United States.
Yeah. So just from the standpoint of leadership without yelling. You think about our political environment right now. It's all about whoever's the loudest. You don't have to be loud and mean to get stuff done.
Yeah, and
to build. He built consensus, and you could say the same thing happened when he presided over the Constitutional Convention in 1787 when Ben Franklin was falling asleep. he was the president of, or I think they call it the president. Yeah, he was the president of the Continental Congress.
Right.
Yeah. So think about how again, another group of type A, powerful men. And the fact that he was able to build consensus and get to a decision, he had to do the same thing, create a government.
Damn. Was he part of that junto?
No.
Man,
no.
He should have been.
He should have been. Yeah. But I've talked about how I enjoyed growing up and even taking my girls to Williamsburg.
Yeah.
And so you think about the guys that came out of Virginia, George, Thomas Jefferson, who said, "Give me liberty or give me death."
Oh, not Neil Patrick Harris. That's the actor. Patrick Henry?
Patrick Henry. Yeah. Yeah.
Neil Patrick. Wow. Okay. Sorry, dude.
But that was always cool for me going to Williamsburg and just thinking about how, a third of the founding fathers that I admire sat in this, Raleigh tavern, drinking mead and coming up with.
That's something I don't think people appreciate. When you go somewhere, even if it's not just Williamsburg, just even around here in Harford County, just take a moment and stand and look around and think, who was there back in the day?
Yeah. Well, we just, as Harford County, we just celebrated the anniversary of the Bush Declaration.
Yes.
Right?
Which was before the original Declaration.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, going to Williamsburg and we were talking when I was talking about how George stepped down as commander in chief of the Army. He did that in the Maryland State House in Annapolis, and it's the old Senate chambers, and they have an exhibit, and so you can walk into the room where he actually resigned. Kids on field trips do it every day.
It just, but how many of them actually just let it sink in and think about that?
Not many.
No. I mean, that's just, I mean, to think that you could have been standing right where he was standing.
Yeah.
And I think if you just took the time to think about it, who knows, you may feel something.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
He got around too, didn't he?
Not as much as Ben, but
I mean, well, you think about it. It seems like George slept everywhere.
Oh. But again, isn't that a cool part of American folklore?
George Washington slept here. Ben didn't. Ben was a one-night stand.
But yeah, I think we need to get back to like more of that. Granted, nobody's perfect.
No.
They were slave owners, and they did a lot of things wrong. Mm-hmm. But I always say, when you think about the representative republic that our founding fathers created, I think it's the best form of government ever created in world history. The biggest problem is that it has to be run by humans, imperfect humans, and we're all imperfect. No, and well, you might be close.
No, I'm definitely not perfect. Maybe Ben had a vision that one day it would be run by AI. He invented it. We're just catching up to it now. All right, so with George, it's still one of my favorites as well.
Yeah,
I think you can learn a lot from him. But Ben wrote his autobiography.
Yeah.
George?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, he's probably has hundreds of biographies written about him.
Yeah, they're probably still writing them.
Yeah. Well, heck, think about what's the author's name that did the John Adams thing? Is it McCullough? Is it David McCullough?
Yeah, I think you said McCullough. Yeah.
Another one of his books is 1776, which is literally about the year 1776, and most of it is about the war, and that's where I learned about how George was lobbying for money, to the Continental Congress. So I would recommend those books.
I wonder
he's
if
a good
you can still
historian.
I wonder if you can still get Ben's autobiography. I'm sure it's been reprinted.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I have a copy on my shelf if you want to buy it.
Do you
Borrow
really?
It. Yeah.
Borrow it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Greg. Okay. All right. So what else about George before we move on to Tom?
Yeah.
Tom, as you said in your
Tommy.
email. Yeah, Tommy boy.
Tommy boy. No, I think the thing with George, he, like I said, was a quiet leader.
Yeah.
But he also, like Ben, knew how to promote himself. He was, talk about, I'm in Bel Air Rotary, and we have a guest speaker come to speak to us about, so this week we had a wonderful young lady named Krista Dempscher.
Yes. She's been on before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about using social media to create and promote your personal brand or your company's brand. And great talk. She, it was fantastic. But yeah, George and Ben knew how to do that themselves.
Yeah. And there was no social media back then.
Yeah.
I mean, they traveled around and did. And the thing is, here's something a lot of people don't realize. That, they traveled the country, which was not the country as we know it today. Yeah. But it still took a lot of time to get around because it was mainly by horse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All those guys coming to Philadelphia were riding on horse.
And to build their brand up that fast, that's just wow.
So yeah,
man.
So George, just an example in leadership.
You said when you said just the quiet type of leader, it makes me think of Joe Flacco.
That's a good point. That's a good
Joe
point.
was always quiet, but he branded himself. Look how many teams. He's in his 40s now, I think.
I think he's early 40s, yeah.
And all these teams keep
Still want him.
Yeah, I think he just
Went to the Bengals this week, yeah.
It's like,
yeah. So he's
yeah,
got
he
something
doesn't yell,
teams want.
But I mean, it's and he can get the job done. He
Yeah.
won a Super Bowl for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, Tommy boy. All right, we're going to talk about Chris Farley now.
I love that movie.
All right, so Thomas Jefferson,
Yeah.
the principal author of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
But
And-
let's go back to his childhood. What do you know about his childhood?
he again a wealthy property owner in Virginia, and inherited property from his father, and so he had a farm. Owned a farm.
Right.
But he was, I think his trade, he was a lawyer. And what I admire about him was just how learned he was. He was always studying. He had an extensive, when I go to Monticello as a kid,
Yeah, I've never been there.
and, you see his library in his house, and he was just always learning, and, studied. So when you think about, how we wanted to design our country, he studied Rome and all the philosophers. This was the age of enlightenment in the world, and he was a principal player in the Enlightenment. Just
That's smart.
yeah. So, when he showed up at the Continental Congress, 1775, 76, he was very shy and quiet.
Really?
Yeah. It was usually Ben Franklin and John Adams that were
The loudest.
the pontificators, that liked to hear themselves speak.
Give me another L.
And Jefferson was like painfully shy and quiet. And,
damn.
And I think it was Ben Franklin that suggested Tom to be the drafter of the document. Yeah. So because he was a gifted writer. Yeah.
Well, actually, now did he write his? Because a lot of people wrote their own autobiographies back then. I think.
I don't think he
write
did
his?
an autobiography. He founded University of Virginia towards the end of his life. So, yeah, he started UVA.
What was the first university? Do we know?
In America?
Yeah.
Harvard, maybe? I don't know.
I was wondering if it was Harvard.
Yeah.
But University of Virginia had to be close to it, not far. There couldn't have been that many around.
Well, I know there was Harvard, Yale, Princeton.
Okay.
Back early on when we were still colonies.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thomas Jefferson is interesting also because he was a part of the first hotly contested presidential campaign.
Really?
Yeah. So we talked about how George stepped down after 2 terms. Then after him, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were on the ballot, and John Adams won.
So did Thomas become vice president then?
Correct.
Okay.
And then 4 years later, John's vice president, Thomas Jefferson, runs again, and Thomas wins then.
So he ran against John again.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
And, beat his president as vice president. Yeah, and it was like they were going after each other. John Adams, put stuff in the newspaper about what's the name of the slave that Thomas Jefferson had kids with.
Oh, God, I don't remember.
But yeah, so all that,
So that's when mudslinging started.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And it hasn't stopped.
Wow. That was kind of early to start that shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
The other thing that's interesting, talk about him being shy, and just being very private. When his wife died, he burned all of the correspondence that the two of them had ever written to each other.
Really?
Because he was over in France for a while as well, as like our ambassador or something like that. So, or like when he was in Philadelphia or wherever, husband and wife would correspond with each other. That's how you communicated with each other, And he for some reason he burned all his correspondence with her when she died.
Interesting.
So
that's a shame too.
As opposed to John Adams, we have we know a lot about the relationship between John Adams and his wife Abigail.
Okay, right.
Because we have all their letters,
That's just that's one of the things.
So when you think about like an author or somebody doing research, that's old letters is where you get a lot of information.
One of the best books I ever got, and I forget the name of the book, but it's we went to Gettysburg.
Okay.
And there were two books. I only bought the one from the South and one from the North, and it was the letters from the soldiers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you talk about. To read, because when you're reading it from the people that were there,
you're hearing about the conditions, and I bet, yeah.
I mean, that's, oh my God. Yeah. If he wouldn't have burnt those letters.
Yeah. The other thing that is very important to remember about Thomas Jefferson, the Louisiana Purchase, for pennies on the dollar. He literally doubled the size of the United States with the stroke of a pen.
That's smart there.
So think about, we often gain land through war.
Yeah.
Right? He doubled the size of our company. Our country. Cut me off. With the stroke of a pen.
I wonder if he read The Art of the Sale back then.
The Art of the Deal?
Art of the Deal, yeah. But you think about, the funny thing is, that was big.
Yeah.
But has that ever happened again? Something like that?
For us, we kept expanding just by taking over Indian territories, that wasn't a negotiation.
Right.
We bought Alaska. That was pretty big.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But with the stroke of a pen?
I think so.
Really?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not an Alaska expert, but strategically it was important to put that buffer between Russia and,
Wow. All right. And he also advocated for a lot of things as well, too, right? Whether, of course, liberty, rights, something very important, separation of church and state.
So here's that's another story that is really important to tell. The separation of church and state. Mm-hmm. When people throw that comment out, separation of church and state, it's not what you think Thomas meant.
Right.
He was president. It happened when he was president. And was it the Danbury Baptist Church?
That sounds right.
Up in Connecticut, somewhere in New England. And this is crazy. Whatever state it was, say it was Connecticut, New Hampshire, Danbury, Connecticut. That sounds right. Yeah. I think the state of Connecticut wanted to make a certain denomination the state
denomination.
And it wasn't Baptist. And so the Baptist church wrote a letter to President Jefferson saying, hey, what's going on here? And that's when he said, you're right. There's a separation of church and state, meaning the state can't create a sanctioned religion.
Right.
That's all that meant.
Just like you have the state flower, state bird, you cannot have a state. Well, seriously, you cannot have a state religion.
Yeah.
And you're right. I think a lot of people get that confused.
So that he wasn't necessarily saying that there can't be any religion or any religious elements in government.
Yeah.
It's okay to pray before a council meeting.
It's okay to have the 10 Commandments there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all he was saying.
Boy, how that
But think about how people have just taken that and just used it to push their narrative, as opposed to actually researching and understanding what Tommy Boy was talking
Unfortunately, you're seeing that with a lot of things.
Yeah.
But he also advocated for individual rights as well, right?
Right. So think about how people often talk about how our country is a democracy. Mm-hmm. And that's technically not the right definition. A democracy is majority rule. Mm-hmm. So and that's not the system we have set up. We have a representative republic where we send representatives to Congress to represent us and make decisions on our behalf.
Or at least they're supposed to.
Well, yeah. But that speaks to the fact that if I want to paint my house purple and 51% of the community doesn't like that, majority rules, that's democracy. So that takes the individual liberty away from me. So when you talk about individual liberty, we have the pursuit of happiness. We have the individual right and ability to pursue what we want to pursue without the government, telling us what to do.
Right.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So just think about how that has become bastardized over the
oh my God,
100, 250 years. But yeah, he believed in the rights of the individual. Yeah.
People need to go back and they need to go back and study history.
Yeah.
And don't rewrite it.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from it. Did they make mistakes? Yes.
Absolutely.
But don't change what they wrote. Especially, I mean, yeah, when you explained the part about separation of church and state, so many people just get that all mixed up.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah. So
really? All right. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions or myths about Tommy Boy?
Well, just like we said with Ben, American folklore tried to hide the fact that, he slept with his slave. And,
right.
So again, nobody's perfect.
Right.
And
I wonder if that's why he burnt those letters. You think?
I never thought of that.
Because, I mean, all right, so when his wife passed, how old was he at the time?
God, I'm not sure.
Or better yet, was he still involved with his slave?
Yes.
Did they ever marry that we know of?
Nope.
Whether it be common law or not?
No. But she still was around.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bet that's why.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah.
Whatever her name is, I don't want her to find these letters.
He did some inventing too.
What?
Thomas Jefferson. I'll put it this way. He made the first photocopier.
Huh?
He created, so you would write letters, you would write documents with a pen.
The quill. Yeah.
He created a device where the pen was connected to a rod and another pen and a piece of paper next to him. So as he wrote, the other pen was copying the same thing on another piece of paper.
That's where auto pen came from.
Yes. Yes. So he being a lawyer, he saw the value in making a copy of the document that he was, or letter he was going to send.
That could be a good argument too, because is it really his signature if he did in fact hold the pen?
That's a great point.
I didn't know that though.
Yeah, didn't they criticize Joe Biden for that? It was like an auto
pen thing.
Yeah. So yeah,
wow.
He created the first letter copier.
What, did he invent anything else? That is pretty damn wild.
I don't know if he invented. When I toured Monticello, did he invent the dumbwaiter? I think
no.
So he had a dumbwaiter in Monticello. So I'm just remembering that, but I can't remember if he invented it or not. I'll have to look that up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those things are brilliant too.
Mm-hmm.
God. My wife wants one in the house for the laundry. She's like, no.
When I was growing up, we had a laundry chute. Like it went down into the laundry room.
Yeah, no, I was the laundry chute.
But
I was told to carry it down.
But it didn't fold it and take it
back up. Yeah, that'd be nice.
He also was really big into experimenting with agriculture, like crops and.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He had a vineyard and did a lot of experimental things with like crop rotation and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what could people learn from Thomas Jefferson? Same question, about business or life in general.
Yeah.
Don't burn the letters.
Don't burn the letters. And he was also like I said, he was like the philosopher. He was open to learning from other cultures,
other people.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. So
I love that. And I kicked myself in the tail for not doing that when I was younger. I mean, I didn't really start doing it until I was probably in my 30s.
Yeah.
Because, and you can learn so much from people. Read a book all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, there we go. So, because we talked about the autobiographies, but for all three, Ben, George, and Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Benny
and the Jets.
And his two Jets, Georgie and Tommy. What books do you recommend or movies?
Oh gosh, I'm going to have to give you a list.
Okay.
I've got a whole shelf.
I bet you do.
Bookshelf full of stuff. I'll give you a list.
I have to find some authors to talk to. This year.
That'll be good.
Yeah,
that'll be good
for that.
Yeah,
I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Anything else to add about Tommy Boy?
No, I think that was it. Yeah,
I
think we're off to a good start, my friend.
You are, and it just gave me some more ideas. I mean, number one, we got to definitely talk about more people, more of our founding fathers. But something else you've been saying the whole time, and I think it'd be fun to cover, is the American folklore.
Ooh, yeah. That's a great idea.
The tall tales and everything. Mm-hmm. Paul Bunyan, all of them.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea.
I love that. And now Barry just needs to set a date so he can sit down with us.
Okay.
And we can do that.
All right.
Harford County history recording.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Man, I thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Was the bourbon okay?
It was great.
I mean, I know it wasn't ale.
Or mead.
Yeah, or mead. I don't know if I can get mead. I'll try to bring ale next time.
This had a nice smooth flavor. Yeah.
It did. It was good. I mean, you drank 5 of them. I won. Thanks, Greg. Thank you for listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. You know, it takes a lot to put a podcast together. And my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following. Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com. The Joppatown Lions Club, serving the community since 1965. Visit them at joppatownlionsclub.org. And don't forget the E at the end of Joppatown, because they're extraordinary.